Hey folks, Kevin Roberts here, the Fit Chef of Mississippi, here to show you another great recipe to help you flex on your next meal. Today I'm going to show you something that's really good and near and dear to me. A good friend of mine, Evelyn Johnson, back from Vicksburg, Mississippi, she shared this recipe with me a long time ago. This is going to be a Delta Tamale Pie. Essentially it's going to be ground beef cooked in with a bunch of white onions, a little poblano pepper, some garlic, and it's going to be covered with a nice cornbread mixture on top. I guarantee you it's going to satisfy your family and make you feel really good inside, all right? All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get a nice cast iron skillet. I'm all about using one pan to cook everything. That way you don't have any mess to clean up afterwards. So I got a nice cast iron skillet here. I'm gonna put it on about a medium high heat. I'm gonna take one small or medium white onion, cut the tops off, cut it in half just like so, peel it, get this guy, we're gonna chop it up into small chunks. Once it is chopped up small, we're gonna put it in there with a little bit of olive oil along with our poblano peppers. Oh, this guy's giving me a little trouble today. Tell you what. Here we go. There we go. We got the skin cut off. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go down, cut it from the root ball all the way to the tip. And you're gonna go through and make nice even slices all the way through. Then you can go through, cut it crosshair. That way you can go through just like this, get nice small dice. You wanna be careful though, make sure you don't cut off a finger or anything. So you want a nice half of an onion, roughly about, I don't know, about a half a cup of onion. So hot pan, we're gonna throw in a little bit of oil. So the reason why I'm throwing my onions in first, because I want to go ahead and cook these down, get them nice and translucent. That way they're soft. That way they're you don't have no chunks of onion in your food, right? Perfect. Then of course we're going to take a poblano pepper, cut the tops off, cut the bottom off. You're going to go through, cut it in half just like this. Cut out all that stuff right there in the middle. Get the guts out, take the seeds out, and then cut it down. And then from here, go through. Cut it up in small chunks, just like that onion. So one poblano pepper is going in there. Perfect. So once you get this pepper good and chopped up, you're gonna grab it, you're gonna throw it in there, get it going as well. Perfect. Get that going. I got a handy dandy little wooden spoon right here. That way we can get that. So we're gonna cook this down, get it soft and translucent. While those are cooking right there, I'm gonna grab one clove of garlic, I'm gonna smash it just like that, and then we're gonna mince this up into smaller pieces. That way there's no big chunks of garlic, that way it's real fragrant, really stands out. Perfect. And I'm gonna do one more garlic piece, because I really like garlic in my dishes. It's gonna be really good. So chop up the garlic, get it going. There we go. Throw that in there, perfect. So now, I'm gonna sit here and cook this till it gets soft and translucent a little bit. These guys are gonna get softened up, nice and tender. And for this recipe, we're gonna use 80-20 ground chuck. You can get it from your local butcher. I'll find that ratio of fat to meat is pretty much the perfect ratio, especially for this dish right here. You want that fat to really coat in the bottom of this pan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit more. These guys are nice and soft now. I'm gonna throw in this ground beef. I'm gonna start to cook that down. So we're gonna let this ground beef cook down for a little while and we're gonna get it nice and brown. Once we get it brown, then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drain off all the grease and then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients to it. All right, so now that the ground beef has started to brown off, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna strain the pot down. I'm gonna get this kind of cleaned up a little bit and we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients and then from here on out it's smooth sailing. It's gonna be a real easy dish. So, making sure I got a towel before you grab a cast iron skillet. Go over here, drain it out really well. Once we get this nice and drained so there's no grease in the bottom of the pan, drain it out, put it back in, and then from here, we're gonna add our seasoning to this, all right? So what I'm gonna add is, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. You can get this from your local grocery store. Add that in there. I'm gonna add about a pinch of crushed red pepper, because again, I like a little spice in there, all right? Then we're gonna add 1 can of rotel, that diced tomatoes and green chilies. Add that guy in there. I'm gonna stir that around just a little bit. So get that going. And because I really like cilantro, I'm gonna add a little bit of cilantro in there, right? We're looking for about a tablespoon of fresh diced cilantro. We're gonna add that in there for just a second. That's right. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so I can look at you while I chop, all right? There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit of that in there. Oh, some nice fresh herbs going in there. Perfect. Then I'm gonna take a nice squeeze of a lime, just for a little acidity to go in there. So a little lime juice. Perfect. Stir that in there. Oh man, this is gonna be so good right here. Then of course, I'm gonna top it off with a mixture of mayonnaise, sour cream. Now what this does, this is gonna give it a nice creamy, kind of silky smooth taste to go across the meat, and it goes well with the cornbread mixture that's going on top. So, I got a spoon here. You're gonna do about 2 cups of sour cream. You're gonna do about 1 cup of mayonnaise. And also, I forgot, we need to add some salt to the ground beef too. So we're gonna add about 2 teaspoons of salt to this mixture. The rule of thumb is for every pound of ground beef, you're gonna add in about 1 teaspoon of salt. This is 2 pounds right here. So I'm gonna add it in there, get this mixed up. Then in our mayonnaise and sour cream mix, I'm gonna add about a half of a teaspoon just to give it a little seasoning. And then I got a mixture of both garlic powder, onion powder. I'm gonna put a little half teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder in there. A couple of sprigs of fresh cracked black pepper. Perfect. And so give this a nice little mix. Mix this up really good. There we go. So then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna put it right here. Perfect. So you're gonna take little spoonfuls of this sour cream and mayonnaise mixture. You're gonna put it across the top, just like this. There you go. It doesn't have to be too perfect. Of course, we're gonna cover it up with our cheese. And so take 2 cups of nice shredded cheddar cheese, go across the top of that. Here we are right there. Then I have some cornbread mix that I'm gonna show you on another episode. You might have seen it sooner. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this across the top. And so this cornbread goes across the top just like so. If you don't wanna use the recipe, you can always use boxed cornbread. I would recommend using, well, you know, the good stuff, right? So spread this across the top, go like this, spread it around. So one nice dish just like this go in the oven. 375 for about 30 to 35 minutes. And when it comes out, it's gonna be nice, bubbly, oozing over everything. You're gonna have the cornbread, you're gonna have the cheese mix, you're gonna have the sour cream, the mayonnaise, and the ground beef in the bottom. So, can't wait till this guy comes out. And for 30 minutes, we wait. All right, so we just pulled this Delta Tamale Pie out of the oven. This thing has been sitting here for about 15-20 minutes. That way you allow it to cool down. That way the fat and the juice and everything kind of reconsolidates. And that way you don't have to worry about a big old mess. So let's go ahead and cut into this guy. I'm gonna do a nice little scoop, just like so. It don't necessarily have to look like a pie shape because it's round. We're gonna go ahead and make it a pie shape. Then we're gonna go in, scoop it up. Make sure you get underneath the bottom really good. Oh goodness, look at that right there. Look at that. Scrape it all off, right on top, just right there. Now this guy is gonna be phenomenal. Absolutely. Let me grab a fork right quick. I wanna taste this one. This one is gonna be great. So, dig into this guy. And again, guys, thank y'all so much for coming out, checking us out. Man, I hope y'all enjoy this just as much as I do. And until next time, can't wait to see y'all.